definition alone, they're inferior films. Films. Sequels suck. Sequels suck. Sequels suck. Films.
Hello, movie fans. This is Sequels Suck, the podcast all about sequels, prequels, remakes, everything except the original, and also a little bit more because we're doing our end of year wrap up. Regan is here. Hello, Regan.
Hey, pals. What's happening?
Not much, man. It's good to see you. It's just you and I for this episode because here in Australia, where we record, it is currently New Year's Eve day. So weird seeing your face in the daytime. We normally record very late at night. But it also means it is school holidays, and Cable and Sean and I all have kids. So they're being responsible parents and looking after their children. I'm hiding in my office recording this episode with you. So it's just you and I.
I appreciate the you neglecting your fatherly duties to talk to me about fucking movies for 45 minutes or whatever. But I have kids too. They're just locked in the basement. You know?
Yeah, that's good. Like a responsible parent. Yeah. Are they down there just being fed soup by another child while you slowly suck the energy out of them just bit by bit?
Great weapons pull, and very topical being that was this year. I was going to go with People Under the Stairs, which is, the Wes Craven joint. But that's a good segue to this episode because as we were prepping this episode, we were talking about sequels of this year, and the initial idea was that we'd all talk about our top 5 sequels of the year. We will post Sean's and Cable's on the socials, so you can get a bit of a rounded thing. But as we were discussing this, Regan came to the conclusion, like, I don't know if I saw 5 sequels this year that came out this year. What if I just talk about 5 sequels I watched this year? What if I just talk about movies I watched this year? Which is great on a sequels podcast, where it's like, we're not going to talk about sequels. So today's going to be a scattershot. I'm going to give you my top 5 sequels that were released this year, with the caveat that I saw a surprisingly small amount of new releases this year. For me, anyway, probably the least amount I've seen in quite a while in a year because I was busy as fuck. And Regan is going to give you more of a broad spectrum view of movies on this wrap up. To be fair though, like I've probably been to the cinema more this year to see like legacy stuff, like going to see, retrospectives and going to see older movies, the Astor and whatever, than new stuff.
Yeah, there's definitely a big trend that is coming through of like retrospectives, and I took my kids to see a lot of movies from my childhood at the cinema, and it's fantastic. You can see it. For years, I've been trying to convince them to watch Back to the Future, and they're kind of a bit half on it. And I was like, well, no, we'll wait till you're ready. And then I took them to see it at the Sun Theatre in Yarraville. And they both absolutely loved it. And I was like, there's something about being in the cinema and watching a movie. We just did it for Home Alone as well. We've all seen that movie a million times in my house. Yeah, right. And we watched it in the cinema and the kids were watching it like it was the first time. Like it was amazing. So
it's a different experience. Like you talk about all the stuff that's going on at the moment with Netflix and the sale of Warner Brothers and all that kind of shit. And everyone's like, it's going to be the end of cinemas. No, it's not. Like we all understand that it's a different thing. You can listen to Spotify and your favorite band all day long, but the act of going out and watching them play at a venue it's a different thing. And for me, like cinema, particularly here in Melbourne, like talking about legacy stuff. I'm going to the Astor tomorrow night to see Heat. And then on the weekend, they're doing a double bill of Lawrence of Arabia and Interstellar, which is like a weird combo, but I'm going to that as well. Like,
it's also like you're going to be sitting in the cinema for 14 hours.
Hey, look, man, I did
extremely long movies.
A couple of years ago. It's from like sort of 1:30 until about 10. But a couple of years ago, I did the Spider-Man movies. They Astor did a marathon of all of them. So the 3 Tobys, the 2 Garfields, the 3 Hollands, and the fucking animated one, Into the Spider-Verse. And that was an entire day at the cinema. So
at least you could have a nap during Amazing Spider-Man 2.
I had a nap during the second Marvel one, the one where they go to fucking Europe. Like, what are you talking about?
That one.
Spider-Man's from New York.
Yeah, one of the key things about that character, the tall buildings to swing off, and you're going to put him in Florence or some shit.
Yeah, but I mean, it's Florence by way of Atlanta. It's on a soundstage.
So disappointing. But that movie did not come out this year. Some Marvel movies did come out this year, and
Yeah.
we almost forgot about them. And a couple of them are sequels.
Yeah. Yeah,
Uh,
like direct sequels to a series. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. The only one that wasn't really a sequel was Fantastic Four: First Steps.
Completely
Uh,
forgot about that.
and a lot of people did. It's been a weird year for movies overall, I think. A lot of the tried and true stuff isn't tried and true anymore.
Mm.
I haven't checked the current box office figures, but even Avatar 3 is not tracking the way that they presumed it would based on Avatar 1 and 2. The Marvel movies did not make the bank that people expected them to make.
Yeah.
Wicked for Good did good, but not great,
Mm.
especially comparative to the last one, which only came out last year and was a phenomenon. So it was I don't know, it was a weird up and down year for cinemas, I think. For movies in general, I don't know. I found myself probably three months out of this year with just nothing to watch.
Yeah.
I was just like, I'm looking. I want to go to the movies. I want to stream. I'll watch anything. And I found myself just reaching for 4Ks off my shelf instead and watching old favorites because there wasn't the consistent new releases, which I found interesting. Paramount, who tried to get in the mix with the whole hostile takeover of Warner Brothers. I was reading they in the 90s were releasing about 80 films a year.
80. Fuck no.
80 films a year. They released 8 this year.
Yeah, wow.
That's sort of where we're at. So if you like me are out there and you're feeling like I wanted to watch stuff and I just didn't know what to watch, it's probably not because you couldn't make a decision. It's probably because there's less choice. But we've done the hard work yards and we have found good stuff for you for this year.
Absolutely. I think as well, the reason Paramount hasn't released as much this year as they normally would is because they spent all their money paying fucking Tyler Sheridan to make TV. It's like, okay, all right, we get it. Sicario was great, and Sicario was really good, but everything else after that is like rough. Oh, actually, Tulsa King was pretty good.
Oh, was that him as well?
Yeah, he had like a billion-dollar contract with him to just make so it's Tulsa King, Landman, Yellowstone, the Yellowstone prequels, the one with the 1874, 1622, the year zero, Jesus.
One of them had Harrison Ford and Helen Mirren.
I know, that's like the 1850 one or whatever, like bank.
That's so weird that you take those two people in 2025 and you put them in a TV show that's like a premium TV show from a big name showrunner and no one knows it exists.
Yeah.
It just doesn't matter. It's like if you had done that exact thing 10 years ago, it's all anyone would be talking about.
Yeah, exactly, especially for TV. But anyway, shall we crack on with our selections?
We shall crack on with our selection. So we're working on sort of a top 5 list for both of us. And we're also going to talk about non-sequels, which is almost sacrilege on this show, but it's the one time a year we get to do it. But let's start with
fine.
Sequels. What is your number 5 for the year?
Number 5 sequel for the year is Five Nights at Freddy's Deuce. Now, I must tell you, the only reason I've seen this, like, I don't know if you know this about me, but I'm not a 14-year-old girl. But my niece is, and she loved the game. And for her gift to me for Christmas, she was like, I want to take you to the movies, but I get to pick the shit. I'm like, well, that doesn't really seem like a gift.
Okay, I was about to say great gift, but that's basically her saying, I want to go to the movies and mum won't take me.
Yeah. No, her mum came, but it was just, I got sort of pushed into going to see this movie. But I'm glad I did, because the night before I had to watch the first one. And I don't know if you know Five Nights at Freddy's. The game?
Never played the game. I have seen the first movie purely for the Matthew Lillard of it all. But I did wait for streaming. I'll confess, I didn't fork out hard-earned cash to go see it in the cinema. I
had to, rent it on Amazon. But the conceit is that this serial killer. I won't say who it is in case you haven't seen it. But the serial killer in it has, is building these animatronic robots at a pizzeria. And for kids, and he's murdering children, and he's using these robot things to do it, and he's using the robots, like the kids' bodies are part of the robots, and that's why they're being enchanted by these ghosts. Like, that's fucked up, because it's kind of bloodless. It's a real PG horror movie.
Ooh, yeah.
But there's some shit in there that really worked, and the sequel is like it's the same way that like you know how Die Hard's just in a building, and then Die Hard 2 is in an airport, and then Die Hard 3 is New York. Well, that's kind of what happens. It's like the pizzeria, and then it's kind of like the whole town, and there's like 2 locations, and there's new characters. In particular, the mannequin lady who's like an animatronic thing that's reanimated by one of the victims of the original killer. And I just had a fucking good time with it, you know. Like it was real. It didn't ask much of me, you know.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah,
I will watch it when it comes to streaming because I kind of enjoyed the first one. I did have the same thing. Like it got 10 minutes in, and I was like, "Am I too old for this movie? Should I not be watching this? I feel like I should.
Yes.
I feel like I should wake my son up, my 6-year-old son, and make him watch it with me, just so I've got an excuse." Yeah. But it's good. Like I like Josh Hutcherson. I like Matthew Lillard. I thought it was it's fun. All right, cool.
Lillard's great. Like and fuck Tarantino. Like he doesn't know what he's talking about. Lillard's got some. Watch Lillard in Hackers and tell me he's not interesting to watch.
Matthew Lillard's amazing in Scream. He's so incredible in that movie. I hope Tarantino finds this podcast and slags it off. It'll do so good for our numbers. Just rag us out, man. Go brutal on it.
Hang on a second. He won't be able to now. You're like, oh fucking yeah, I love sequels suck.
Yeah, but no, you got to be barefoot for that.
No, I'm not. I don't want to put that on the internet. No one needs to see these 40-year-old feet.
Get the piggies out. Get the piggies out.
Oh, he's dangling and he don't even know it. Sorry, you go ahead.
My number 5 for the year is I Know What You Did Last Summer, brackets 2025, close brackets, which almost didn't make the list because I hate the title so goddamn much. Regular listeners of the show will know that I have a real, like, I would say, like, a problem with the way that I perceive titles. I know it's not healthy or smart, but I really get annoyed by lazy titles. And this is just the worst habit that Hollywood is doing at the moment of making a sequel and just calling it the same name as the first one. But that aside, this is not a great movie by any stretch of the imagination. If you grew up like me loving the original, I Know What You Did Last Summer, and the bonkers sequel, which I do love, I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, it's a really good time. But the reason this is on my list is because it does something that I have been begging horror sequels to do, especially this new like fad of having sequels, you know, where they get the original cast back and they're older and it's happening again, and trying to find a reason for it to happen again with the original cast. This movie does something that I have been desperate for them to do, and on this podcast I have begged other franchises to do for years, and they did it. They finally did it. And I don't want to spoil it for people if you haven't watched it, but it is something really, I thought, well overdue for a movie like this to do, like a slasher movie that's bringing characters back, to have a reason for this to happen.
Yeah.
And when the movie started, my initial thought was like, God, you know what it'd be great is if they did this thing. And then when they did it, I was like pumping my fists. I was like, yeah. Yeah. And the way they do it is kind of clumsy, and the movie itself changes tone almost scene by scene. Like some scenes it's really intense, like he's hunting us, he's killing us, and then the next scene it feels like a Zucker Brothers movie. Like it's just nuts. But the two lead actresses, they have great chemistry and a great dynamic, and there's a lot of banter between them that makes them feel like real friends. It always felt like, did you ever see Booksmart from a couple of years ago?
Yeah.
It felt like the friendship in Booksmart, where it was like they give each other shit and they have this really clear dynamic. And because of that, more than most of these movies, you're like, I really care whether or not you live or die, because this feels like a real friendship. So little things like that this movie did really gave me a lot of hope for this continuing trend. Because I'm like, hopefully people watch this and go, I can do that, but better.
Yeah.
And they take those elements that have been desperately lacking from a lot of these new sequels that are coming out, because it was fun. I had a great time watching it. The whole time I was watching, I'm like, this isn't good, but I'm really having a good time. And they also do like a couple of really beautiful things. Like there is a nod to I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. Like they're not doing that thing. They're like, no, none of the other movies happened. They really clearly acknowledge like, no. This is the third time that this has happened. This isn't just, it's not like that weird thing that Scream 5 did, where they kind of, for like half the movie, try to pretend this only happened once, and then they're like, oh no, this actually happened like 3 other times after that.
Yeah,
this is
because
happening
like
quite a bit.
some important characters died in the second one. Some important characters died in the third one. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
that's. Can I just ask though 2 questions?
Please.
Is FPJ in it?
Yes, he is. Yes,
Amazing.
he is big time, and
Love that guy getting work.
yeah, he's a huge part of it. As is Jessica Love Hewitt.
Yep.
They are massive, and there's a couple of little like little surprises in the movie that your mileage may vary.
Yeah.
You know, again, I think the amount that you loved the original will really impact how much rope you will give this movie, because there are parts of it that are they're just dumb. They're just bad. They're bad. But if you love the original, you're kind of like, hell yeah. All right.
All right. I'm going to give it a try, because I saw it. It was on Prime the other day. I'm like, nah, Halloween's over. I can't be doing that now. And the other question was, when you said that they were referencing the second film, did Jack Black turn up as a white Rastafarian again?
That was my only real qualm, is that they didn't do that. I wish they had just cut to him. But I think he died, actually. He died in the sequel.
I think I missed a trick not bringing him back.
I would have loved just like a photo of him on the wall. And then, like, remember that trip we took with that crazy white guy who acted like he was a Rastafarian?
Yeah. Rest in power, buddy.
Yeah. All right, your number 4. What is your number 4?
Number 2, back. Number 2 for me is The Accountant 2. With the Ben Afflecks.
And the John Bernthal?
And the John Bernthals, who is one of my favourite actors, but only sometimes. Like, you see him in some stuff, and you're like, absolutely, like Wolf of Wall Street.
Hell yeah, he's so good in that.
Origin, he's really great in the Ava DuVernay film. And the TV remake of American Gigolo, which is excellent. And then you see him in something
I never watched
like...
it.
It's really good. And then you see him playing the Punisher who always cries. He's great as Frank, don't get me wrong, but he's always like teetering on the edge of crying, which is ridiculous. But in this,
didn't his family get murdered? Isn't that the Punisher's
I
whole
know,
thing?
but like he's also
like, imagine someone murdered all your cats and your partner, and then you'll just walk around. It's like, why is Reg's eyes always wet? What the fuck's up with that guy?
And why is he murdering everybody who's cruel to animals? I'm the cat Punisher, and it's like a human skull, it's a cat skull.
The cat skull, yeah.
Yeah, okay, fair play.
The Pornisher.
Yes, the Pornisher. Somebody make art for me of that, please. Not using AI though. So the thing that I like about this picture is that I quite like the first one. I know people think it's problematic because Ben Affleck's playing, somebody who's, got high functioning autism. Actors have been doing that forever. There's, look at Dustin Hoffman or Sean Penn or Leo in What's Eating Gilbert Grape. Like, it's not disrespectful. Like, there was people investigated this shit. But this film, it's more like a buddy cop movie about these two brothers who like don't have anything in common apart from the fact that they're brothers and kind of have to get along in order to do this mission. And it plays more like a comedy than the first. The first one's almost like dead serious. But this one is it felt more like it had an 80s action vibe to it, which I thought was an interesting sort of turn for the franchise. And Bernthal's great. Like, he's really soft. Like, I mean, he's a hardened mercenary in it, but he has a sweetness and a delicateness. Like, he really does love his older brother, and Affleck's particularly good. Like, Ben Affleck is a good actor. I watched Live by Night. I rewatched it the other night, and it's that's a great picture, and he's really good in it. And when he does something specific like that, or this, you kind of see that because of a few mistakes in his career, like in terms of things he took on, Payback and all that stuff, and the sort of press surrounding not only his original marriage to J-Lo or whatever it was, and then his alcoholism and all that kind of stuff. If you take all that away, he's a really solid actor and director. And in a role like this, you see that guy poking through. He's not just a celebrity; he's a legit actor.
I love Affleck. I want him to be in everything.
Yeah,
I will argue with anyone who wants to that he is one of the greatest choices to play Batman that has ever happened. He's just not in the
100%.
he's not in the right film, and that's mainly because as Bruce Wayne, he's the most Bruce Wayne, I think. Like he lived that life for real.
Yeah,
He
yeah. Oh, you're
he really
so
was. He's a
right.
billionaire playboy, or
Yeah,
maybe a millionaire, but he's a rich person who has been a playboy who has done all the things. But also, like you look at him, like if you wanted to beat the living shit out of someone, no one could stop you. You are
yeah,
a beast.
yeah,
I am really, really frustrated that we never got because he was going to do his own Batman movie and direct it,
yeah.
and him directing, I love him directing. Him directing himself in a Batman movie, just explosions of joy all over the place. I'm gutted we didn't get that.
Especially after he did so well. Like Gone Baby Gone is an excellent picture.
It's incredible.
The Town is like
Masterpiece.
it's probably the second or third best heist movie of all time. You know, after like maybe Heat and one other one.
The Sting.
I think of one of the maybe The Sting.
That's more of a con man movie than a heist movie, isn't it?
Yeah,
I don't know. Hit us in the comments. What are the heist movies you want?
Yes, all of the heist movies. And then you've got Argo, which is a really good film and everything, but it was very Oscar baity. And Live by Night is a really good film noir. So I think learning everything that you should check it out. It kind of got lost in the sort of melee of him getting cast as Batman.
Mm-hmm.
If he was to like take all the stuff that he learned on those pictures and then apply it to a Batman movie, it would have been unstoppable. It would have been it would have given Nolan's trilogy a run for its money, that's for sure.
Yeah. All right. Count two. I'm going to check. I haven't watched the first one. I'm going to check out both of them because I love him and I love
Do
Bernthal.
the double.
Oh, baby, what a night. My number 4 on my list is Jurassic World Rebirth. Fuck the haters. Jurassic World Rebirth is fun. Is it good? Probably not. Is it a great time at the movies? Yes. I know there was a lot of pressure on it because the original writer of the first one was back, and I was like, oh my God, we're getting Jurassic Park again. You're never going to get Jurassic Park again. Just let it go. We have Jurassic Park at home. You can go and watch it whenever you want. But I thought I was not a big fan of the Jurassic World trilogy that came before this.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they just missed the mark on a lot of stuff, and I appreciated the audacity that they had in some things. But I felt like they were making different movies to what I don't want to say should. They were making different movies to Jurassic Park or Jurassic World movies in terms of like what the audience was going for and what they wanted. And, I get it. They're making it for a new audience. They were very successful. So fuck me. What do I know? But I never clicked with them. I never enjoyed them. And I had a lot of frustrations with the direction they took it. This one, it feels like somebody watched all 6 movies that came beforehand. And they're like, okay, cool. I think we know what to do here. We want big action sequences. We want a single like island location. We want some cool people doing some cool shit, and we want some family in peril. Let's chuck it all in a blender. Let's go. And there are parts of it that are genuinely awesome. Like there's a great scene where the douchebag boyfriend is like taking a piss and a velociraptor appears and is coming up on him. And you're like, oh, he's going to get his. And it's all in the background. It's all out of focus. It's not like cutting back and forth. He's pissing. The camera is locked on him, out of focus in the background. You see this thing coming. And you're like, oh, shit. And then as it gets closer, it's not really a spoiler, but it's a spoiler if you don't want to know anything about the movie. As it comes closer, a fucking pterodactyl just swoops down and takes the raptor off. And it's a funny scene. It's a tense scene. It's awesome. It's like, yeah, dinosaurs other than the T-Rex are eating other dinosaurs.
Yeah, cool.
They're not just waiting for humans to show up and eating the humans. Like they have their own ecosystem. So it was really cool to see that. And, a lot of great stuff where they really played into a lot of the horror elements of this. You have a rundown laboratory that's all like creepy. It looks like a Resident Evil game and the flashing red lights, and you've got weird experimental dinosaurs, which, we've seen before in these movies, but I think this is a more effective version. And you've got like Scarlett Johansson, when they were like, yeah, Scarlett Johansson's in it. I was like, great. And like, yeah, she's playing a mercenary. I was like, well, you fucked it, didn't you? No, she's good. She's really good as a mercenary.
Well. Awesome.
Completely buy it. Oh my gosh, I've forgotten his name. That's embarrassing.
If you're looking something up, was it Koyet Sarah who directed it? The guy who directed Black Adam?
Yes.
Yeah.
He
comes from... I can't remember his first name. I know his last name's Koyet Sarah.
No, sorry. It wasn't him at all. It was Gareth Edwards.
Oh, maybe I'll shut the fuck up then. Oh, Gareth Edwards of
Rogue One.
Rogue One and Godzilla. Yeah, okay, that makes perfect sense.
Which surprised me because I haven't connected with any of those movies. I'm in the very small camp of people who didn't really enjoy Rogue One. And Monsters I thought was good. It just wasn't for me. I really didn't enjoy his Godzilla. But, you know, fuck me. He made a great Jurassic Park movie or Jurassic World movie. So give the man some more money and let him cook. Mahershala Ali is the person I was trying to think of.
Oh.
Mahershala Ali.
Mahershala Ali marking time in other movies until they finally do Blade.
Which, a side note to that, news came out last night, horrifying news, that currently Jordan Peele is in talks with Marvel to direct the Blade movie.
Holy shit.
Which I don't want. No. I don't want at all. He will make an amazing Blade movie. He will make a better Jordan Peele movie. Like, just go keep making your awesome shit. I love Jordan Peele movies. Every franchise IP that an amazing director gets in on is one less awesome original movie that we get from them. And I don't want Jordan Peele's Blade. I want Jordan Peele's next movie.
Yeah.
Because Nope, I've seen that so many times, and every time I'm like, when's the next Jordan Peele movie? I just put on Nope again to tide me over. So it's not that I think he would absolutely crush it. I just think I would much rather watch him make his own stuff. But I get it. You got to make money. The other significant thing about Jurassic World Rebirth, before we move on, is this movie, in conjunction with Wicked for Good, marked a pretty awesome event in cinema history. It's the first time in history that an openly queer actor has won the box office overall. Between Jurassic World Rebirth and Wicked for Good, Jonathan Bailey was in the highest earning films of the year, and is the first time an openly queer leading man has done that. So I thought that was pretty friggin' sweet. That
yeah, man.
Perhaps 100 years too late, but we've finally gotten to the point where someone can be like, "I'm gay," and people still like, "Yeah, whatever, man. One ticket, please." Great. It's just not. It's not a thing anymore where he can be the romantic lead in Wicked. He can be the romantic lead in Jurassic World, and people are like, "Yeah, cool. We don't care, man. Like, is it a good movie?
Yeah,
good. Thank you. Yeah, that's what we wanted for a long time."
He's a gay man playing a straight man. Like, there's been so many straight men playing gay men. Fucking.
He's an openly gay man.
Folks. Like, we should be here. Yeah,
but it's never happened that an openly gay man has been the highest earning box office, or in the highest box office films before.
That's great because it gives him he's got a blank check now. He can make all his own choices. Like, do you want to do the sequel to Jurassic Park? Yes, I do. This is how much you're going to pay me, and I also want to make this indie picture that my friend's directing or whatever.
It's incredible.
That kind of clout is it's bigger than money in Hollywood anyway. So.
It certainly is.
The one thing I want to say about that is I haven't seen it, the Jurassic Park. I saw the beginning and the end because it played at one of the cinemas I work at, and I was like, what the fuck is Scarlett Johansson doing in that movie? Like, that's weird. And then I found out she lobbied hard for it because she loves the series.
Yeah, she
and I was
really,
like, that's
really
fucking
wanted
awesome.
To do it.
That's really cool. Like, respect.
Yeah, and she's just gotten in on Exorcist and
Batman.
And Batman. So she's really
she's franchise happy.
Well, like you said, it is more important than money these days. Is she's done with Marvel. And she needs another big thing so she can go and make, the Jojo Rabbits or another in her skin or in their skin, whatever.
Well, she just directed a picture for. It was playing the Jewish Film Festival at the Cameo. I think it's called Thelma. And it's about an old Jewish lady in New York.
Yes,
that's the kind of thing. Harrison Ford is going to say yes to Brave New World so that he can keep making Shrinking. And make his bank.
Yeah.
It's smart people. Right, am I up to my next one?
You're up to your next one.
Wonderful. Talk about Franchise Town, Thunderbolts, which is technically an Avengers sequel because it is retitled The New Avengers.
The New Avengers.
Sorry if we ruined it for you, but you probably would have seen it.
They did it with all the posters, so it's not even a spoiler.
Yeah, exactly. That asterisk. I as you will know on this podcast, and if you listen to the Film Addicts podcast that I'm on, or when I guest on Podcast Assemble, you will know, folks, that I am kind of over all this stuff. I think Endgame was a really nice end to all that stuff, if exaggerated, extremely, but you had to kind of do that after all that time, and everything since then has kind of limped along. There's been things I've enjoyed. Moon Knight was really great. I love Hawkeye. I think Hawkeye is an excellent
I thought it's
series.
a great series.
It's top shelf, But in terms of where they're going, like, Shang-Chi was interesting, and, there was some cool things going on in Spider-Man, and then the multiverse came in, and it all got a bit cluttered the way that comics do eventually, and then they decide to reboot, which is, Doomsday. But Thunderbolts, not only does it have one of my favourite Marvel characters in Yelena, and my favourite actors in Florence Pugh, it was about something. There was something going on here for the first time in what I felt was a long time in these Marvel movies. Like, if you look back at the original Iron Man, like, what's that about? It's about a broken man who, in order to protect his damaged heart, builds a suit of armor. And then by the time you get to the end of Tony's run, the armor is gone, and he has become the apex. He is the higher self. Like, that's something going on there, Captain America is a man at a time. Thor is a guy who every day he wakes up, after that initial movie, every day he wakes up and he's not sure if he's going to be able to lift that hammer. Am I worthy today? I was worthy yesterday, but am I worthy today? Like, there's some interesting shit happening. In Thunderbolts, it wasn't just about trauma. It was about all of these people who were displaced. In particular, Yelena's character, where she says, she's talking to her dad. She's like, I don't know where I am in this world. I don't know what I'm doing. You weren't there for me. Like, I needed you. And there's real character work going on there. And at the end of it, I know this sounds really kind of, hippie-ish of me or whatever, but they save the day by protecting somebody. By holding somebody and letting them know that it's okay to be broken, and it's okay to fall down, because we're going to be here to catch you, And they save people. Like, Sentry's going fucking ape shit, or the Void's going ape shit, and these guys are on the ground, and none of them have superpowers. They're just out there, like, doing the best they can. I haven't seen that in a Marvel movie in a long time, about the actual superhero-ness of it. So, and it was really well directed. It was really clean. Sorry.
Well, I was going to say, it got into a habit of, like, I thought Shang-Chi was good, but I thought it was messy.
Yeah.
And it became all about, like, big, crazy set pieces, big, bad, like, really bad CGI. And it also became about setting up the next 15 movies. And then it was the same thing again with Multiverse of Madness. You had a great concept, you had a great director, and it just got so muddy in the waters, and they tried to do too many big things, and the CG couldn't back it up, and the story got lost, and it became kind of their calling card that we will have probably 4 thick moments in this movie, but 3 of them won't look great because we didn't finish the CGI. And at the end, we'll put more energy into the mid-credit sequence, setting up the next movie, than we did into 90% of the movie.
Yeah.
And it did become a big repetitive thing. And then I think that's why a lot of us just bailed on Marvel. And I think it's why I still haven't seen Thunderbolts, but I have heard endlessly good things about it. Everyone who saw it was like, holy shit, Thunderbolts. Wow.
It came out of left field, because the only reason I did it was because Addy, my podcasting partner on Film Addicts, wanted to do it. And I was like, sure, I'll go and see it for you, buddy. And I had a really good time. It's a well-made picture. There's some great set pieces. And even though all of these characters are coming from other Marvel places, other Marvel properties, apart from Sentry, it didn't feel too sequely or too franchisey. Like, it is a contained story. It sets up stuff for the next picture and all that kind of shit, as Marvel movies always do. But you can watch it and not watch the credit sequence, and you'll totally have a full experience.
What a rare gift in a Marvel movie.
I know, right?
To watch one movie and it to just be
holy shit.
one movie.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, I might watch that tonight after the fireworks.
Awesome.
My number 3 was already on my list, but it got bumped up a couple of notches and became solidified with a great big heaping of grief and sadness. Because my number 3, Spinal Tap 2, The End Continues, which just became such a sadly prophetic title in the wake of the brutal and untimely and devastating death of Rob Reiner just last month. Him and his wife killed by their very unwell son, allegedly. That hasn't been confirmed, so I should say that. But just one of the most tragic and upsetting losses of a film legend that I can ever think of. He is someone who I grew up watching their shit relentlessly, like Spinal Tap, Harry Met Sally, Princess Bride, Misery, like all of his movies at various points in my life have just become one of those movies that you're like, I'm somehow watching this once a week for like a month. Like they just become movies that get in your bloodstream. You're like, I'm just going to throw on Misery again. I'm just going to throw on Princess Bride again. Like, and now that I have kids, like showing them Princess Bride and, you know, thinking like, oh, what, you know, how old can they be before I show them this next movie? And gee, he's just a director that I loved. And I was really dubious about a sequel to Spinal Tap because all of these kinds of sequels to legendary comedies, they rarely land. I mean, one that in our pre-taping chat, I just remembered we didn't even talk about Happy Gilmore 2 came out this year.
I didn't see it.
Yeah, nor I, because I didn't hear great things and I just wanted to leave Happy Gilmore well alone. But long periods between comedies, it sometimes, in fact, more often than not, doesn't work. Spinal Tap 2 works because the whole premise is it's been a long time and we're all different people and we're all coming at this from a totally different angle. And also you have three absolutely iconic comedy geniuses who are getting together and just improving. And I think that's the biggest win of this movie is that Rob Reiner knew how to let people cook. That was kind of his great gift. Was he had a clear vision. He knew how to block the shit out of a scene. He knew how to put things together. He edited it in his head. He knew what the movie was ahead of time, but he also knew get great artists in a room together and let them go. Like Kathy Bates is so good in Misery because he had the movie planned out and then he put her in the scene and was like, all right, now over to you. What do you got? Show me. And then she did it. And he's like, that's the fucking movie. Thank you.
Yeah.
You know, Harry Met Sally, he got Meg Ryan and Billy Crystal at their peak, put them in a room together and was like, what do you got? And they did it. He's like, bam. You know, he talks about the hardest scene he ever directed. There's a scene in When Harry Met Sally where Bruno Kirby and Carrie Fisher are in bed together and Bruno Kirby's on the phone to Billy Crystal and Carrie Fisher's on the phone to Meg Ryan, and it's a split screen
Best
where you have
split screen of all time.
And he filmed it all in real time.
Yeah.
So with people, like the conversation was happening in real time and having the rhythm and the pace for film, it's very, very difficult, but he also knew he had to follow what the actors were doing. So he's found it really hard because like I blocked this out, I planned it, and then I just had to like follow them because if I tried to cut between, you'd kill it. It wouldn't work. There'd be no rhythm. There'd be no energy. And so he just let them go. And then he had to figure it out on the back end, how to make sure that was all timed perfectly. And he did it. So he really does that in Spinal Tap too. He really lets Christopher Guest and Michael McKean and Harry Shearer cook. And he just lets them go. And there are some parts of the movie where it feels a bit like, oh, you guys loved this scene. It's not a great scene. It's not in the movie even really because it works necessarily. It's here because you loved it. But as the movie goes on, when those scenes do pop up, you're kind of like, no, I get it. Like you made this movie how you wanted to, and we just get to watch it and let it wash over us in a way that a lot of comedies don't allow themselves to be. So it's really very much like, here it is. This is what the movie is. We shot probably, 1,000 hours of footage and edited it down to this. And this is the experience we had making the movie. This is the experience we had working with each other. It feels very much like a documentary in the sense that like they just captured what happened on the day, which lends itself to that mockumentary thing. And I think I don't think anyone, including Rob Reiner, expected it would be his final picture. It does become kind of oddly fitting that his first and last picture are Spinal Tap films.
Yeah,
and there
what
is
a strange bookend.
But it's, if you like This is Spinal Tap, which I assume 90% of the world does because it's just a fucking amazing comedy. You can't help but like Spinal Tap too. Like me and my mum sat down and watched it together because she was the one who introduced me to This is Spinal Tap, and we just watched it. And it's one of those movies like this is funny, but this is also a really nice time. I'm having a really nice time with this
I'm
movie.
having a nice time with my mum.
Yeah, and it's like I just feel happy not because it's a comedy, but because I feel happy watching it and watching this take place. So I think it's a fitting cap to a legendary career where, I mean, almost everything that this man did is an all-time greatest of all time in that particular genre.
Yeah.
You know, like Misery is arguably one of the best King adaptations. Princess Bride is
I make the
arguably
argument it is the best King adaptation. Yeah,
like there's no reason that anyone could argue against that. I mean, it would only
Maybe
be like
Dr.
if you
Sleep.
really, really love Kubrick Shining, or you really, really love Frank Darabont's Shawshank Redemption. Like, and I could buy that because you just like those movies better. But in terms of a straight adaptation, it's pretty hard to argue that that's not the best one. When Harry Met Sally, I think, is the best romantic comedy of all time,
hands down.
This is Spinal Tap it's definitely, I think, the best mockumentary of all time. It's an argument for best comedy. That's a far more subjective one. So, you know, but and even like his acting, like his small but amazing role in Wolf of Wall Street.
I watched
That's
that
like one of the greatest cameos. Oh,
and like I woke up the next day, and my mate Johnny had sent a message to our like film club group chat that he'd passed away. I'm like, I fucking watched that. When he comes in and he's yelling at everyone for, you know, $50,000 on fucking dinner. He's like, we had all the sides. $50,000 worth of sides. Like he's just, or they're talking about like pubic hair.
Oh my
like,
god!
There's nothing down there. He's like, you know, I don't mind the bush. Like it's just, he's just so sweet.
Or the phone. He's like, who the fuck is calling me at 7:00? And then he puts on the British accent. Hello, Johnny.
Hello, rightio. Then yeah, just what a legend. What an absolute legend. And he's watching the what's he watching? He's watching that TV show that they made into a Denzel picture.
The Equalizer.
The Equalizer. Thank you. Yeah.
I wait a fucking week for the Equalizer. Yeah, he also directed arguably one of the other best King adaptations in Stand By Me, which is probably the best coming of age story you can see. And then like left field, just out of nowhere, he's like, oh, also here's the best courtroom drama you ever going to see in your life with A Few Good Men, which I always forget he directed. It's just doesn't seem like he should have directed that. American President is amazing. It's a great fight. Like he was so good. I haven't confirmed this, but apparently he worked on the pilot for Happy Days. He helped create Happy Days. Like the man is he was
what a
just
legacy.
Incredible. I know. I could talk about him all day, but I'd really recommend Spinal Tap to people. Right. I think it's just good. It's just a good fun time.
Sold. Okay, my number 2 is Ballerina, whatever the fucking ampersand thing is after it. I can't remember.
What did they? Because it was called Ballerina for a long time, and then the 11th hour it got
from the
titles.
World of John Wick. From
is
the
that what it is?
John Wick,
yeah, let's have a look. I think. Ooh, so according to IMDb, it's still just Ballerina, but that is not what's on the posters in this country.
No.
Let me see if I can find some alternate titles while you talk about the movie.
Sure. I dug it a lot. We did an episode of it on Film Addicts, and I like the John Wick films a lot. In particular, the fourth one because it's the best one. They're doing shit with light in that I've never seen. Yeah, it's particularly just one of the best action movies of all time. I don't know why Ballerina didn't work for people. People still talk about maybe because there's a woman in it. Like, I don't know if that's true. I just think maybe people were tired of it, or whatever. They didn't. That John Wick's only in it for a really short period of time, and you'd only find that out in the last trailer. So, and
that was a reshoot as well. He wasn't meant to be in it. They just shot it and then decided, oh no, we have to have Keanu in this.
Well, that's why
otherwise people won't come.
Yeah, it's got absolutely nothing to do with the plot, like the actual plot of it. And I find it. Ana de Armas is arguably. No, Ana de Armas is like one of the most attractive women who's ever lived. And she's also a fucking great actress. Like, I think people kind of forget that, and you know, she's put in some really stellar performances, and you do forget that because she is, you know, she's marketed on her beauty, but it's really nuanced. She's very capable in terms of the action. Excuse me. But the thing that got me most about it was the subversion of the original tropes of the John Wick genre. So John Wick is an assassin. The character of the ballerina is a protector, is a bodyguard, basically. So as you know, as an assassin, you know, you kill people and stuff. She's there to protect people, and yeah, she does have to kill people, but it's in service of protection. That's really interesting. There's a bunch of times where, well, one in particular where she goes to the sommelier to get all the guns, the way that John Wick does every time. He goes in and he gets his guns, and we have this one, and it's a blah, blah, blah. And then he fucks off with all his weaponry. Halfway through her sommelier scene, she gets attacked and has nothing, and has to use the only thing she can find, which are grenades. And she's having a grenade fight. There's one in particular where she's like fucking puts one down a guy's shirt, pulls his jacket, drops him over the back of a table, and he blows up behind her like mince. It was just...
That's awesome.
Some of the ingenuity of the action set pieces was really great. She's using a sword at the end, and, you know, and an axe and a flamethrower. Like, it was just really, really interesting in the way that it kind of broke the mold of what a John Wick film, what we understand a John Wick film to be at this point. I loved it. I thought it looked great. She's excellent in it, and it's a real bummer that it didn't do better, because I could happily watch 4 of them.
Yeah, I wonder if it is. I mean, I'm certain it was a lot of sexism in the arguments against it, because, you know, Keanu Reeves started his career as a pretty boy actor. That was his thing. He was a very pretty man.
He sure was.
And then he did lots of like pretty roles. And people forget, like, people were shocked when he did John Wick.
Yeah.
It was like, oh shit, you're doing a crazy action movie that's not like sci-fi, like Matrix. Like, we knew he could fight and do that stuff, but he was still also like very pretty boy, you know, surfer dude a bit. You know, there's that famous scene that is still going where, like, you know, something crazy happens. He goes, whoa. Yeah. And it's like, oh, that's just Bill and Ted coming through right there. But so he's definitely doing that. I think part of it is that I think also, like, from memory, and I'm just trying to confirm this right now, but I think this might have been Len Wiseman's first job as a director.
No. He directed Underworld movies. He did a Die Hard picture. He's a really good action director. Those. No, you're right. He did.
Yeah. He did do all the Underworlds. He did Die Hard 4, which I defend. I think that's a good movie. So I don't. No, that's what it is. It's his first. That's why I was getting confused. It's his first film that he's directed in quite some time.
Yeah, he did a bit of TV, but it's
Total Recall remake, which I do not defend.
That's right. Yeah. Well, I mean, they put him in director jail.
He was in director jail, and I think deservedly so. But he went to TV World for a while, and this is his first film back in over 10 years.
Yeah.
So I think people will probably be like, huh?
Who fucking
It's
cares?
not. Was it Chad Stahelski, whoever who's the architect of the John Wick movie? So I think there's a lot of new pieces. I think there was a bit of IP fatigue. I think there was a bit of sexism. I think there was a bit of poor marketing. I mean, I certainly heard more about the reshoots that took place to fix the movie than I did about the actual movie when all the promotion stuff was going on. So hopefully it gets reclaimed on streaming and we do get a bit more.
Yeah, man. Dig in, everybody. It's well worth your time. Keep going. I've just got to grab and plug this computer in. But intro your next one.
The next one, I'm not going to harp on too much about, because it is a movie that we have done a whole episode about on this show. So people can go back and check that out. My number 2 for the year, I won't harp on about, because we did a whole episode about it on this very show. It is Final Destination Bloodlines. Which is just a really good time at the movies. It's just fun. If you like the Final Destination movies, like I do, you have been so confused why they haven't been making these for the past 10 years. It is the easiest franchise to just keep making, because you don't need the cast. You don't need the locate. You don't need anything to come back. You just like, all right, here's a new bunch of chumps who cheat death and then get hunted down by it. And all we're doing in these movies is coming up with really fun set pieces to kill people in really gory ways. And for some unknowable reason, after Final Destination 5, the people who were in charge of these movies are like, we're good. Like, they're not that expensive to make. They definitely make money. You can put whoever you want in them and people will still go. And it's a great formula. And it just stopped dead in its tracks. So thank God it's back. I hope they make one of these every year or two for the next ever. Because they're fucking
They're going to
fun.
have to change the title, man. It can't always be final. You know, nothing's final about it at all.
But it's those characters' Final Destination.
Yeah,
That's
true.
the thing.
Yeah,
it
you
is.
can't bring people back.
It's not like I don't know what's the Neverending Story and then the Neverending Story 2. It's like, hang on,
false advertising.
Like, it's just these characters' Final Destination. Yeah, Cable and I did a whole episode about it. Go back and check that out if you want to know more, or go watch the movie if you haven't seen it. The set pieces are great. It's not, I don't want to pretend that it's the best Final Destination movie. It's not top tier Final Destination, in my opinion, for the franchise, but it is so much fun. You can't have a bad time watching it if you like these kind of movies. You'll just sit down and be like, hell yeah, that's great. Look what they did there. Some of the deaths are really inventive. Some of the character setups are really fun, and they do, kind of different stuff. Like, the whole premise of this one is it's a family that's getting hunted down by death, instead of just random strangers brought together by fate. So they do some new things. They come up with some interesting backstories. Tony Todd, it's his final performance on screen, another legend we lost this year. And oddly moving scene with Tony Todd, where when I watched it, when he showed up, I went, because by the time I saw the movie, he had passed away. He passed away before it was released, and his character shows up. He's the only recurring character in these movies, is the mortician. And when his character showed up, I went, yeah, they've recast Tony Todd. Oh, that's really sad that he's not in it. And then a minute into the scene, I went, oh my God, that is Tony Todd. He's just really, really unwell. And he knows in real life, the actor knew that he was dying. So the scene that he has in the movie, the character is dying. And it is essentially, he gets a monologue where he talks about mortality and life and death and, the ways in which you should really live your life. And then he literally, mid-scene is like, so I'm done with all this. I'm going to go live my life while I've got some left. And he just walks out a door mid-scene. And it's like, oh, that really just feels like the actor giving his farewell to his audience.
Yeah.
And then be like, you finish the fucking movie. I'm going to go play with my grandkids. And he leaves. And it almost made me cry. I was like, oh my God, how rare that a performer gets an opportunity to sort of take that bow and then leave on their own terms. It was really, really nice and really great that the filmmakers allowed that, given that it wasn't the director of the original who came back and was like, Tony, one last ride. It's brand new directors, brand new writers, brand new crew. And still they're like, no, he is the centerpiece of this franchise, and he is also a legend, and we're going to give him the chance to do this moment. I think he wrote his monologue himself and just kind of here's what I've got to say. And they're like, roll camera.
Yeah.
So great movie, recommended. Listen to the episode if you want to hear more about it. What's your next one on the list?
My number one, I wonder if we have the same one, because you mentioned it before and you haven't done it yet. It's Lee Winnell's Wolfman.
Sorry, that's your number one sequel for the year?
Yeah. Didn't you say? Right. Didn't you say that I could use that one because it's a remake?
You can absolutely use it. It is in the list of films that I saw this year. This is my least favorite film that I saw.
Oh, right, year. Okay, yeah, all right. I really dug it. I don't know. I love werewolf movies, so I'm kind of in the bag for it straight up. And I just thought it was really well directed. It was well paced. It had some interesting, in the same way that Invisible Man had some interesting sort of real world applications, this one did. And yeah, it was also this sort of contained movie in a bottle, which I wasn't expecting. Yeah, I don't know. It was just absolute. What did you not like about it?
Everything.
Oh, okay.
I thought I loved Invisible Man. I thought what
Yeah,
Lee
it's
Wynell did with
great.
that movie was phenomenal. So I was very, very excited for this movie. I think it was the first movie I saw in cinemas this year. It came out quite early in the year,
It did, yeah.
and I I didn't enjoy the setup of the movie being, hey, we're gonna make it all about like this family in crisis and put them in this isolated place, and then kind of let them uh, be the crisis that they're going through is irrelevant to the fact that he's turning into a wolf.
Mm.
Um, I also thought that a lot of the set pieces were pretty clumsy, and the overall message of the film seemed to waver dramatically. Like it kind of set itself as like this is about the importance of family and the importance of like a father showing his children the way to be as a human in the world, and it's about a couple who can't sort of connect, trying to find ways to connect, and then a little bit into it's like no, it's about addiction. This movie's about addiction, and like is it okay? I guess all right. This is like he is poisoned by the werewolf, and that's kind of like if you're an addict, I get. All right, and then it does that for a bit, and it's like, nah, this is about like generational trauma because his dad as well. I was like, oh, yeah, yeah, okay, cool. And if they just had stuck with any of them start to finish, and also let it just be a wolf movie, like
Yeah.
it's kind of not a werewolf movie until the last showdown, and even then, it's more. It leans far more into the trauma of the characters and the the struggle and the sacrifice. I'm like, just make a fucking werewolf movie, man. Come on, like you
Yeah,
can have all that shit in the background, but make a werewolf movie. And they made like a family trauma movie, and also he's turning into a wolf. I'm like, give a fuck.
you must have read much more there. That I thought it was about masculinity and like the ill-conceived way that men engage with it, and they think that it's like holistic, and it isn't. It's actually you're engaging with the monster, as opposed to being strong and kind, which is the truest form of masculinity. So yeah, that's what I got from it. So I think we just took very different shit from it. You know what I mean? And
Quite
I
possibly.
really like it. I think it was shot really well. The guy who shot it also shot Invisible Man, and I remember messaging him. He was the DP on The Dry, the
Oh
Eric
right,
Bana picture, and I messaged
yeah.
him on Instagram. I was like, "This is one of the most beautiful films I've ever seen." And he was talking about working on this, and they were sort of going into sort of writing of it at the time. So yeah, it just tickled all my funny bones. I don't know.
Good. I'm glad.
I'm
And
excited to know what your number one is now because I just assumed it was Wolfman.
no. My number one is also like pretty close to being my number one overall. 28 years later, this
Yes, right.
movie is phenomenal in every way that a film can be great. This movie is great. It completely stands on its own without needing to have watched 28 Days Later or 28 Weeks Later, which it
All right.
very, I thought very smartly, it kind of brushes aside 28 weeks later in its opening moments. Because if you haven't seen that film, that kind of ends with the virus escaping England, and you see, zombies in France and in Italy and other places, and they kind
It's
of
also oppressively bleak. Like it's a
oh,
hard watch.
it's not it's not great at all. Um, and they kind of wash away like, yeah, the virus pushed into Europe briefly, but we pushed it out and contained it in England, and that's not a problem anymore. It's like just don't worry about anything else that happens in 28 weeks later and 28 days later. Really, it just kind of uses it as the almost like the pre-credit sequence for this movie. It's like, here's how we got to this point. Go
Yeah.
watch the other movie. But what you don't need to know any of that. Like, who gives a shit? Let's just watch this movie. It justifies itself in a way that a lot of sequels don't. Like, it obviously is not made because it was a hot property that people were chomping for. It's been 25 years since the first one came out.
Yeah.
It is not a huge money maker. It's not like the original made $1 billion like Avatar. I'm like, when are we getting the next one? It's just a movie that Alex Garland and Danny Boyle had a really good idea and do a lot of subversive things. I'll spoil a little bit of it, not in terms of plot, but just in terms of like the surprise in that this movie is a family drama in ways I did not expect. It's really about this father and this son and this mother and this son and what is happening to them in this world that they inhabit, and how these characters are trying to build a world for their children around what is going on. It's about how do you justify having children in this place, and do you deserve to carry on humanity when this is what we've got, and why, if not, why not? Like, why can't you carry on being human in this very inhuman environment? And it really, really does a great job of making you think about, and maybe it affected me because I am a parent, but it makes you think about, like, what sort of world you bringing your children into, and what sort of environment you are raising them in, and what sort of values you want to give them, and what sort of protection you can offer, and when can you not protect your children from certain horrors of the world, and how do you handle that when they're exposed to them, and all this stuff you would not expect from a movie about zombies running around is in there. And then it really forces you to look at the zombies as sick people. There's a character in it who is a doctor who treats the zombies as though they are sick people, not monsters, and brings in these ideas of, like, yes, they are trying to harm you, but why, and can we help? We tried eradicating them, we tried bombing them, we tried shooting them, we tried wiping out everything in scorched earth to try and save the day. None of it worked. What if we try treating them? And it does it in a not preachy way. It's not like, hey, this movie is about how we treat homeless people, so think about it. It's more like, no, what if we just do a zombie movie where someone actually tries to think about the zombies as people, which I haven't seen. Like, I've certainly seen movies where they're like, we're going to find a cure, but it's always like, we're going to find a cure so we stop getting massacred. Whereas this one is like, we want to find a cure so we can treat these people like people, because they're still people. And I found that fascinating. And it's also fucking funny. It's so funny in so many moments that I wasn't prepared for. Yeah. And there's one scene that is absolutely devastating that I wasn't prepared for. I didn't think I was going to cry in 28 years later, but there's one scene where I was just weeping. I was like, oh my God. And none of it feels ham-fisted. None of it feels forced or cheap. All of it is really deliberate and earned and specific, and just kind of plays out in a really visually interesting way. Some of the camera work they do in this, the editing they do in this, the sound design, like even getting the score to be done by this band called Young Fathers, I think, where it's not quite a film score in the traditional sense, but it's also not too experimental. It kind of fits into its own category, I thought, with the sound design and the score, the editing, the camera work. A lot was made about, they rigged up all these iPhones and shot with these iPhone rigs, which sounded kind of hokey, but when you watch the movie, it's like, oh no, that was just the best way to get a lot of cameras right in the actors' faces, because iPhones are really thin and you can get a good shot really, really close. Blew me away. Absolutely blew me away. Like, I saw it, I think the day it came out, and I haven't gone more than like 3 days without thinking about it all year.
Yeah, wow.
And I absolutely cannot wait for the next one to come out.
Bone Temple.
Bone Temple.
Is it not already out?
No, I think it comes out early next year.
Okay.
Very, very soon it comes out.
Yeah, right.
And I'll be there opening night for that as well. And for the third one when Boyle and Garland come back, because they're not making this one.
Okay.
This is Nia DaCosta, who made the Candyman sequel recently.
Yeah.
And a few other things. So it's kind of their story that they have very deliberately handed on, because I think they haven't spoken too much about it, but I think the general idea is they wanted someone different to make the next one. And then they're coming back for the third one to do that, which initially made me nervous because I got big, like, Star Wars vibes. It's like, yeah, we're going to pass on to someone else. Oh, fuck no, we didn't like what you did there. But I think this is a far more planned and deliberate act. But yeah, God, what a movie. It's just incredible. I really,
Amazing.
really, really loved it.
Yeah, I haven't heard a bad thing about it, and like I said before, before we were on mic, before we were recording rather, my niece, she loved it. She was like, "You've got to watch it," and she hasn't even seen the original, so
You
right
don't
on.
need to.
Yeah,
In the best way, you don't need to. You'll get it,
yeah,
within 10 seconds. Yeah, big recommend. One of the best
excellent.
movies overall of the year.
All right, I'm doing
Um,
it.
do it, man. You won't be sad. On best movies of the year, without the sequel restriction,
Mm.
what was your favorite movie of the year?
My favorite movie of the year. Hang on one second because I had the other one up. Is a film on streaming on Apple TV Plus, directed by William Bridges and written by William Bridges and Brett Goldstein from who's Roy Kent in
Yeah,
Ted Lasso. It's a film called All of You.
all
And
right.
it's a pseudo sci-fi film in that in a sort of alternate now, um, science has figured out a way to pinpoint your soulmate. And you can elect to have this done, and you get connected with your soulmate, and it's sort of like an advanced dating app. And it's about these two friends, played by Brett Goldstein and the fantastic Imogen Potts, or Poots, whatever it is. And they're sort of they're friends, and there's obviously something there, but she has the procedure done and finds her soulmate and gets married and has kids, and it's sort of the story of these two, this conflicting relationship while this woman is technically with her soulmate. And like it's years, it goes for years, the story. And it's one of the most beautiful films I've ever seen. Like, it just in the way that it was shot, and the choreography of the scenes and all that stuff. But Goldstein is excellent in it. Don't get me wrong; he's really, really great. But it is the strongest performance from a female actor I've seen in decades. Like, Imogen Potts she won't get nominated for an Oscar because it doesn't mean anything anyway. But she absolutely destroyed me, and
Wow.
it ends so beautifully and so truthfully, and that's all I'm interested in when it comes to movies these days. Like, show me something real. Like, if you want to set it in the future where you can find your soulmate scientifically, or if you want to have a huge big red Hulk in it, I don't give a fuck, as long as you're telling me something real about what it is to be a human being on planet Earth right now. I'll listen to you. And it was like, you're talking about crying in 28 years later, like babbling like a fucking insane person I was. It really spoke to me, and the
Wow.
script is excellent. It's really funny in places, it's really sweet in places. It's kind of, Addie watched it, my podcasting partner. He's like, it's hard to, like, you shouldn't like them. You shouldn't like these two people because they're kind of, in places, they're doing the wrong thing, but you can't help but root for him. It was so surprising. And the only reason I was interested is because I love Brett Goldstein. I think he's a great writer. I think he's a really good actor. And I've always loved Imogen Potts, but it really took me by surprise.
I literally have not heard of this movie, and
Yeah,
I
of course
have
not, because
Apple.
Apple sucks at fucking promoting its own shit, unless it's, Slow Horses or something, like, or Ted Lasso for that matter. But
Well,
yeah,
yeah, in
I,
fact, I
I
think
loved it.
I'm just looking now. I think the only thing that I've heard, only movie I've heard of theirs that they released this year is F1. Um,
Yeah.
that's
Well,
the only
yeah, I mean,
Apple
that get a
original
big
film.
cinema release and IMAX and all that stuff, and Scorsese works for him now basically, and they did a great documentary on him as well. But yeah, it's a real sleeper, and a majority, my top five that we've done, and we'll the guys are going to post on the sequel suck socials and whatnot from the four of us. Three of them are indie, like, and the other two are sort of, they were big releases, but they're certainly not franchise releases. Sinners and One Battle After Another. So yeah,
Yeah, well,
maybe my tastes are changing. I don't know.
I think it's. I mean, I certainly find that I'm hungry for more unexpected stuff these days than I have been in a long time, and maybe that's because we are being fed so much IP, and there's so many sequels and so many remakes and reboots and whatever you call them. It's constantly getting forced down. So when I find something that I have not seen before. It really lights me up. And yeah, like in my top five for the year, Sinners is there, One Battle After Another is there. Um, the movies that really grabbed me this year and made me go, holy shit! Weapons like blew me away.
Yeah.
But that's absolutely incredible. Friendship, the Tim Robinson, Paul Rudd movie,
Oh, okay.
um, just like hilarious, weird. Haven't seen anything like it. Genuinely awesome film.
Yeah.
But my favorite non-sequel of the year so far, and I every time I look at my list, I have to double check that I made it because I'm like, I don't feel like that should be my favorite film of the year. Is Warfare, which is the other film that Alex Garland
Garland
made
did,
this
yeah, yeah.
year, in addition to 28 Years Later, and he made it with a real veteran, a guy called Ray Mendoza, who was an American soldier who went and did this mission, and the whole movie is about this one very small mission. The whole movie is essentially like a group of soldiers have to get into a house, and then they have to get out of the house, and that's pretty much it. And it was co-written by Ray Mendoza, and they say at the start this movie is made from memory. So they're essentially saying like this is how the guy and his fellow soldiers remember the events.
Yeah.
They're not saying this is exactly what happened. They're saying this is how we remember it, and they take sort of each guy's story. And it is. I'm not a big war movie guy. I've never really taken to them as a genre. I've watched plenty and enjoyed them, but it's not like a genre I seek out. Especially more modern warfare stuff, I find it to be pretty depressing because it's just too real. And like, yeah, this is actually happening. Like, a couple of thousand Ks away,
Yeah.
a small child just got blown up, and it's just like, that's not why I go to movies. But this movie I watched on a whim, and it's just brilliant. Like it holds you. It's got one of the best opening scene, or yeah, I guess you call it a scene I've ever watched in my life. Have you seen it?
No.
The opening scene is incredible, and there's no dialogue, and it really firmly establishes all these characters and their situation and their bond in an absurd way using the song "Call on Me." Is Eric Pride's song
I
from
don't know who wrote it, no.
back in the day, and it has the famous video clip that's just like all these women in leotards doing an aerobics class. And it's very gratuitous, and that film clip plays like a central part of this opening scene. It's hilarious, it's amazing, but you get it. You get exactly what all these characters are doing and who they are, and then it cuts, and there's almost no dialogue for most of the movie. It's just like these guys moving, to this location and doing. But you also know exactly why it's happening and what's going on. And when the shit hits the fan, it is so tense and so real. And you feel like you are watching a documentary in parts where you're like, this does feel exactly like what would have happened when these guys went through this. And as each moment passed, like nothing, there's no point I can point to in the movie and go, this bit is like the fucking bit. There's no standout scene. It is one, I guess, moment that you are watching for the whole movie. And it's also weirdly this feels quite like cruel to say, but the thing they are doing is really of no consequence. Like it doesn't matter what they're doing. It matters to them in the moment. It's their orders. They have to go do it. Someone said you have to do this, so it seems important. But it really the whole movie kind of like we're so trained as an audience to be like, okay, so what's the twist? Like, what's the big secret to why they had to do this mission? It's not a spoiler. There's no fucking secret. There's no like greater meaning. It's just like these guys are literally soldiers who are like, go in that house, and they get in, and the shit hits the fan. They're like, all right, now we got to get you guys out of that house, and that's it. And it's just like a day in the life of war, and it's phenomenal. It's a phenomenal movie. I never would have expected I'd enjoy it, let alone enjoy it more than a new Paul Thomas Anderson movie, a new Zach Cregger movie, a new fucking horror franchise that I absolutely adore. A lot of directors I love made me like Rob Reiner, Steven Soderbergh, Alex Garland, Danny Boyle,
Oh yeah,
Paul Thomas
Soderbergh had
Anderson.
Black Bag out this
He
year.
had Black Bag and Presence this year. A new Superman movie, a new Stephen King adaptation, a sequel to a horror franchise I love. What else came out this year that just blew me away? you know, a new Frankenstein movie, a new horror from the Rucka Rucka guys. Like, there's so many movies that should have been higher on the list for me than this. And every time I look at the list, I'm like, should Weapons be above that? Should One Battle be? I'm like, nah, man, this movie, the impact it had on me, and maybe because I had no expectations,
I feel like
fucking floored me.
With the older I get, the more what Christopher Nolan said speaks to me. He was asked during an interview, you know, like a rapid fire question round, and you know, someone had written one in from Twitter or wherever the fuck, and it said, you know, sometimes my life is like a Christopher Nolan film. You know, I can't figure it out, and you know, I can't, you know, work out what's happening, whatever. And he was like, stop thinking and feel, and that's how I go. You know, with my gut will tell me, is One Battle After Another a better movie than All of You? Probably, but I know how I feel, and that was definitely the case. And the same with the other two in my top three. You won't have heard of either. One was called Train Dreams, and it was on.
I've heard of. I haven't watched. It is on my list,
Netflix, with Joel Edgerton. Exceptional picture, like just so confident, knows exactly what it's doing, you know, stylistically and you know, also emotionally, and what the characters do. It's his best performance easily. And the other one I watched the other night, funnily enough, and it was She Rides Shotgun. It's this tiny little film that just dropped on
I've heard of that
Prime.
one as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Taron Egerton, a different Egerton altogether.
Unrelated.
And the young actress in it, who's... I'm just going to look up her name because... so yeah, it's basically about a father who's just gotten out of prison and goes and takes his daughter after a tragedy, and they were kind of on the run from the cops and drug dealers and stuff like that. Exceptional picture. The young girl in it who plays the daughter Polly, Anna Sophie Heger, I think her name is. It is the best child performance since Natalie Portman in The Professional.
Wow.
She steals the movie. And Taron Egerton is a great actor, but she is, the whole film is resting on her shoulders. And again, it's this thing of like, yeah, okay, is it recency bias? No, I absolutely was more invested in what was going on in that movie than I was in Sinners or in One Battle. Even though those two movies are probably, you know, better produced or, you know, better directed or whatever, I have to go with how I feel. And the more I do that, the more at harmony I am with all of the choices that I make.
Yeah, well, I think One Battle After Another is probably the best movie that came out this year by all the margins that you can put on
standards,
art, if you want to do that. But yeah, like I've pivoted to going to like favorite. I don't say like this is the best movie. This is my favorite. These are the movies I enjoyed in the order I enjoyed them. And all my lists now, like, here's the order I enjoyed them in.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to say that, you know, any of the movies that I enjoyed are like, this is the best movie. That other movie sucked. It's like, this is what I walked away feeling.
Yeah, we're not in high school. It's like the only way you could say that is that Jaws is the best movie ever, and there's no
argument.
That's absolutely the truth. And if you don't believe it, unsubscribe.
Yeah, if you don't.
Actually, no, it's not my channel. Don't do that.
If you don't think Jaws is the best movie ever, no, you're not allowed to watch movies or listen to podcasts anymore.
Exactly.
You're banned.
Fuck yourself.
You're banned for life. Really, I think those are some good recs. I said there's a lot there that now I've got to run away and watch because I haven't seen them, and I'm very excited to. I hope I haven't oversold it to people, but what I took away from it was just it stayed with me, man. And every time I think about it, I get excited. It's one of those movies where I don't know if I want to watch it again in the next 5 years because I don't want to like take away from watching it. I just want to like think about it and enjoy it. Yeah, and if 100%. I watch it again, I don't want to like. You know, when you watch a movie a second time, you start to see behind the curtain a bit, and you're like, how did they frame that shot? Oh, wait, it didn't feel like a movie when I watched it. So I was like, I don't want to go back and then be like, oh, I see how you did that.
And you mythologize it as well, like the experience. That's why I haven't watched Sinners again. Like, I don't want to have
I've only watched it once.
This sort of, pop culture osmosis that kind of happened around that film and how it became a meme. And, you know, there's that great line that... what's the young Haley Seinfeld has it at, like, you know, you stuck your tongue in my coos and fucked me so hard I figured you'd change your mind. Like, that was in the cinema. I pissed myself laughing, and then it became a thing. So I kind of didn't want to go back and have it be kind of ruined by the surrounding noise, and to be looking at things in a way that people would look at them just based on, okay, what can I pull out of this to make a sound bite? Like, it's got to live on its own. So yeah, I haven't gone back yet.
Yeah, it's a good movie to think about. You don't need to watch it 1,000 times. I think you can enjoy it, but these are great. Now I've got to go and watch a lot of movies that you've recommended because I haven't seen them. We'll be posting the list up on the socials. We'll get Cables and Sean's up there as well, so you can get a good rounded look at the year that was. Thank you for making time to come on, Regs, today and share your film list. That was awesome.
My pleasure.
Make sure people listen to Film Addicts podcasts, listen to No Country for Old Films.
Yes, particularly episode 2 with the great man himself. Gus came on to talk about The Mummy 1999 with me and my podcasting buddy, the Colonial Tommy. And we've got a new episode coming out today. It's out.
Oh, look at that.
So on the Naked Gun from 1988, the original.
Oh my God! All right. Well, it'll be good. It won't be as good as the Mummy episode, but that's all right.
We peaked. We've peaked with that. It's all downhill.
Yeah, fair enough. Have a great New Year's.
You too, mate.
We'll see you again.
Suck fans.
My definition alone, there for your films.
I almost remake a quick warning.
Sequels suck.
This episode is
Suck.
over.